Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Welcome into the JAKIB Media Phillies post-game show. My name is Marc Farzetta. This show is brought to you by Colony Pools and Power Washing. Win and save this baseball season with our friends from Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let the experts get rid of that green algae off your roof, off your siding, and off your deck. They service Delaware, Delco, and Chester counties. Call them now, 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250. I know that we're going to blow out of proportion, but the bottom line is, what the hell was JT Realmuto thinking? There was no world where that was a good idea to try to take second base. And I'll tell you that. I'll walk you through my emotions as he was rounding first base, and I saw that ball just dribbling there into the left center field, right? I saw that ball just going out there, and I thought, oh, he might get two out of this. I actually thought for a second he might pull a Bryce Harper and try to take two. But maybe he gets a double out of this. And then when he did try to take two, I was shocked that it was not a closer play, meaning without it was an amazing slide, and I think he was safe, but you don't leave it up to the umpire. And let's say the play beat him to second base by a long shot. If it wasn't for some unbelievable slide by JT Realmuto, the play's not even close. He's out by a mile, and he should have been out by a mile, but he made a great athletic play. He made the move. I thought he got in there, but the ruling on the field was that he was out. And they did not find conclusive evidence that without a shadow of a doubt, the fingertips stayed on the bag for him to be safe. So that's why he remained out. However, it doesn't change the fact, not even an opinion, but the fact it was a bad play by JT Realmuto. And I love the guy. I absolutely love JT Realmuto. And I've said for months, the team goes as he goes, almost more so than anybody else. And he's coming off a hot streak, over 400 on the road trip. He was doing great. After the cycle, we all know. And then he comes in here and he has that play. He has a couple of hits in this ball game. And then he makes that awful read. And I was, like I said, shocked to begin with that it wasn't even that close in terms of the play beating him. The throw beating him to second base by that much even shows how much of a boneheaded play that was. And like the best players and great players and brilliant players can make boneheaded plays. But for him to misread that play that terribly with the game on the line, with trying to make a comeback against the Braves to put runners at first and third. You went at first and third, yes, with two outs, but with Bryson Stott coming to the plate. And you had an opportunity there to really have a big inning. And I know it would have had to be 2-out Lightning, which is why it might be blown out of proportion a little bit. But still, man, that's just not the right play to make. Not the right play to make by JT Realmuto. And the thing that really sucks is not only is that a boneheaded play, but all together. Like, I know we're going to focus on that play a lot today. I know you guys will probably talk about it a lot in the chat, and that's fine because it's just you're not used to seeing plays like that from JT Realmuto. You've seen it from Bryce Harper this year. You've certainly seen it from Nick Castellanos this year, trying to stretch a single into a double or whatever it might be. And Bryce Harper has certainly made a career out of doing that, especially on those slow hit balls that just get past the second baseman into shallow right field. And he thinks he can beat it out. And oftentimes he does, beats it out to second base for a double. And he turns around, he's all fired up. Yeah, that whole thing. We know. I know that's going to get a lot of attention. But what gets more attention from me than anything in this game is the fact that you had another incredible start from Ranger Suarez. And you squandered a 6-inning, 1-run, 4-hit, 2-walk appearance by Ranger Suarez in what was a playoff-type atmosphere. Going into this game, I would say, oh, this is incredible. The Phillies have won 13-15. The Braves have won 13-15. The Phillies right now, they split with the Braves in that 4-game series before they, hit. I would hope it would be rock bottom, losing the swept when they got swept by the Mets. And then, unfortunately, they lost that game 1 where Zach Wheeler got shelled in 3 2/3 against the Nationals. Hopefully that was rock bottom. And so far, recently, that has been rock bottom for the Phillies. And now they go on this tear, and they get 4 games over 500. They win 13-15, like I said, and now they have this measuring stick series, this playoff-esque type series against the Atlanta Braves. And they didn't have any answers. No answers, offensively speaking. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 12. First inning, you get the leadoff runner on there with leadoff batter on with Kyle Schwarber. Can't do anything with it. Third inning, you get Brandon Marsh leading off with a double. Can't do anything with it. Fourth inning, I believe it was. Fifth inning. Fourth inning. Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, back-to-back singles to lead off the inning. Can't do anything with it. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And here's the crazy thing with Spencer Strider, and we've seen Spencer Strider enough. He had been getting shelled by one of the worst offenses in all of baseball in the Detroit Tigers. And then he comes out tonight against the Phillies, and he just owns them. He just owns them. And it was fastball after fastball after fastball. Some at bats, he was throwing 4 or 5 straight fastballs in a row. And that's what he does. Even by his standards, tonight it might have been a little excessive. But bottom line is, you knew it was coming. If you're a hitter and you got Spencer Strider out there on the mound, you know what's coming. It's going to be a 4-seam fastball after a 4-seam fastball. It's going to be anywhere between 96 and 99 miles per hour. You can either wait on it, wait to jump on it, or you can just flail at it like Trey Turner did a couple of times today. He made some good contact, but whatever. You know what's coming. It's a matter of catching up to it. It's a matter of anticipating it. And then it's also a matter of hoping that there is one fastball in the 5 he might throw you in an at-bat that is flat, that doesn't have all that life on it, that might not have that movement or that lift or that cut on it, whatever it might be. But, man, he was throwing the heat today. And I was looking at it, and I was going through my my notes right at the end of the game of how often he was using that fastball. And I was keeping track of it today during the game. First pitch fastball to Kyle Schwarber to start the game off, 97 miles per hour. He just flailed it out there to center field for a base hit. Then Trey Turner goes up there and flies out to center field. Castellanos struck out. Harper is able to get a single next, so you have another opportunity here with runners on scoring position, all that stuff. But basically, 19 pitches were thrown in that first inning. 14 of them were fastballs from Spencer Strider tonight. It's so damn disappointing to look at how close this game was. Look how great Ranger Suarez started off this ball game. Look at the fact that over his last 5 starts now, Ranger Suarez is a 1.38 ERA. A 1.38 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's got 1 win to show for it. 1.38 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's gone at least 6 innings. He's gone 7 innings twice. He's gone at least 6 innings in all of them. He's gone 7 2/3 in one of them. He has been dominant. I saw the Inquirer. I think it was David Murphy of the Inquirer put out the story earlier today talking about Ranger Suarez in this playoff-like setup against the Braves going into this series. You're going to need to have ace-quality stuff again from Ranger Suarez. Then you got 5 starts like that in a row. It's not just ace-quality stuff. That is ace stuff when it comes to what you have seen from Ranger Suarez over his last 5 starts. And the Phillies squander it again. That's what happened today. 1 win to show for it. Absolutely terrible. I don't look, the 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. I hate to harp on it, but I mean, that's the bottom line. You just look at opportunities, and we'll go through the play-by-play in just a second here. But when you look at the opportunities the Phillies had in this game and just weren't able to capitalize, I mentioned the first inning, the third inning, the fourth inning, opportunities with the leadoff runner on or in scoring position like Brandon Marsh did in the third inning, leads off with a double. Phillies can't do anything with it. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. I don't know who it was, but it came up in my timeline today, and it's a great point. But you talk about a day off after a day game in Oakland, West Coast trip, and you have a game where you have to rely on Jake Hoffman. You have to rely on Dylan Covey. Those are your guys that you're going to be leaning on coming out of the bullpen. Andrew Vasquez has been great. Wasn't so great with that slider that he threw to Matt Olson, unfortunately, but for the most part, he's been pretty great. It was a rough outlook for the Phillies in this game. And I didn't think it was going to go like this, especially with the way things started off with Kyle Schwarber. Well, first off, with Ranger Suarez starting off the game the way he started off the game, and then Kyle Schwarber getting on base in his first at bat. Here's one thing I could go without for the rest of the season. And actually, you know what? Let me check that. For the rest of my life, I never want to see Kyle Schwarber attempt a bunt. I don't ever want to see him show bunt. Come to think of it, at any point in his life, even maybe walking to the batter's box, maybe even in the on-deck circle, I don't even want to see him hold a bat horizontally to the ground. All right? I don't ever want to see him show bunt again. The last time he faced A.J. Minter, and we'll go through it again in the play-by-play, but the last time he faced A.J. Minter, do you remember what he did? Hit a game-tying RBI double. Nick Castellanos ended up getting thrown out at home in that Brave series, that 4-game Brave series down in Atlanta. Kyle Schwarber hit a game-tying double. Castellanos got thrown out at home, and you know who he hit that game-tying double off of? It was against A.J. Minter. And then this time around, he didn't show bunt. He bunted and got thrown out. You can't make it up, folks. You can't make it up. We will have a Schmidt show for you right before we get to our chat check tonight. So there's something to look forward to. Producer extraordinaire on the road traveling, my man. Alex Schmidt, producing the program, will give us the Schmidt show version of the Phillies postgame here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. But before we get to that, let's go through the play-by-play and see what our man Ranger Suarez did in the Phillies as well, just to make sure that we cover all our bases, pun not intended. Acuna starts off the game by flying out to center field, deep center field. Brandon Marsh had a great beat on it. Was able to go back and get that baseball. Albies grounds out to third base, and then Riley pops out to Cody Clemens at first base. Cody Clemens, by the way, you're pretty much newly minted first baseman. Like, you know how they take off the interim tag of a manager or a coach in sports? It feels like he's been the interim first baseman tag has been taken off of Cody Clemens, with now Derek Hall being healthy, but being optioned to AAA. So he could play at the major league level, but the Phillies are like, well, just take a minute. Cody Clemens right now is your first baseman. And I'm not angry about it. At least right now, I'm not all that angry about it. He's earned it. He's got some great reps this season, which has been fantastic. He's been a very good first baseman in terms of defense. Offense has certainly been up and down throughout the year, but for the most part, been up. So I can live with this, especially the defensive side of things. But if Derek Hall starts mashing, see you in the bigs, babe. See you in the bigs. All right, so let's move on to the bottom of the first inning. Kyle Schwarber, first pitch fastball. He puts it into center field for a base hit. Slap hitter, Kyle Schwarber, all of a sudden. Hits the 97-mile-per-hour fastball, puts it in center field. Then Turner goes up there, flies out to right field. Deep right field. Again, good wood on the baseball, but it results in a long out. Castellanos strikes out, so now you got 2 outs with a runner on first base. Bryce Harper steps up. He gets a single to center field to get first and second with 2 outs. JT Realmuto strikes out in the high heat, unfortunately. Foul tips it, but it's not enough contact, obviously. So he strikes out to end that threat. So now you're 0 for 1 with runner in scoring position. 14 of the first 19 pitches by Spencer Strider, all fastballs. Go into the second inning. D'Arnaud leads off with a walk. Made it a full count. Unfortunately, Ranger Suarez wasn't able to get the punch out. Then Olsen steps up there, strikes out, looking on a sinker on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch there by Ranger Suarez. Ozuna gets a single to center field. He gets second and first with 1 out. Arcia goes up there and strikes out. 94-mile-per-hour fastball there from Ranger Suarez. And then Pilar goes up there. 1-2 wild pitch. So now you got runner at second and third with 2 outs. Will Ranger Suarez get out of it in the top of the second inning? Yes, he will. An absolute nasty curveball. When he first came back from being injured, I was talking about Ranger Suarez and the curveball, how he did not have good control of it. He was struggling with the changeup early on. He was struggling with the curveball early on. He just wasn't getting that good snap on the curveball. This time around, he has got it down. His last 2 starts, that curveball in particular, has been fantastic, including today. And this time around, he drops that curveball in on Pilar and just 12 to a deep 6. And he flails at it for the third out of the inning. It was going into the bottom of the second inning now. Stott leads off by grounding out to the first baseman. Bohm strikes out. Clemens ends up popping out as well. It's an 15-pitch inning for Strider in this bottom of the second inning. 11 fastballs this time around. Third inning, Ranger Suarez cruise control. 8-pitch inning, 42 pitches through 3 innings of work. He gets Harris to ground out to second base. Then Acuna flies out to center field. Albies gets a single to right field, and then Riley flies out to center. Bottom of the third inning, Brandon Marsh starts it off with a double to right field. He hits a slider in the right field. Previous to that, 4 straight fastballs. Real Muto gets up there. Schwarber goes up there. He grounds out to first. Marsh is able to go to third. So now you got a runner on third base with 1 out. Turner grounds out on a little, not even a dribbler, about a 2-hopper back to Strider on 4 fastballs in that at bat. Castellanos then strikes out on a slider in the dirt. He saw 4 fastballs in that at bat as well. The 5th pitch of the at bat, I believe, was that slider that he chased, and that was the end of it. Going to the 4th inning now, d'Arnaud strikes out on a changeup. Olsen flies out to center field on an 8-pitch at bat. Ozuna strikes out again on a nasty curve. That was a 20-pitch 4th inning for Ranger Suarez. Going to the 4th inning, Harper leads off with the single. Real Muto follows with the single to right field. He saw a first-pitch fastball, drilled it into right field for a base hit. Now Stott goes up there, and this is where things just get wonky. Stott goes up there, hits a a 1-hopper to short. They step on second to get Real Muto in the force out. They essentially catch Harper in what could have been a rundown, but Harper took the out. They throw him out at third base. So now instead of a situation where you were basking in runners on first and second with nobody out, you now have 1 runner on with 2 outs. Runner on first with 2 outs. Bohm goes up there, and he ends up striking out, looking on a fastball. That's how they wrote it up. Inning number 5, Arcia flies out to center field. Pilar strikes out. Harris then gets the infield single. Back to Suarez. Suarez waited an extra beat and wasn't able to throw Harris out at first base. Harris can fly, so don't wait that extra beat next time. For a guy that fields the position, great, as Ranger Suarez does, just not this time around. It was not very good. Acuna then goes up there, grounds 6-4 for the out, and then Turner goes up there in a crazy throw, but Stott's able to hold on at second base to get the final out of the inning. When I say throw, I say toss. I mean toss. Going to the 5th inning there, bottom of the 5th inning, Clemens strikes out on the slider, 3 straight fastballs before that. Marsh goes up there and gets a single. Another hit for Brandon Marsh. Great to see that. Kyle Schwarber then gets a single. Oh, my goodness gracious, with 1 out, you all of a sudden got back-to-back singles. First and second with 1 out. Turner flies out to center field. 3 straight fastballs. This was deep, by the way. Marsh is able to tag. He's able to go to third. Nick Castellanos now steps out with a runner on first and third with 2 outs. And Nick Castellanos delivers. Gets the Phillies on the board, a 1-0 lead. Harper ends up striking out to end the inning. 3 straight fastballs, and then ends up chasing the slider for the strikeout. Go into the top of the 6th inning. Unfortunately, that's when Austin Riley got his revenge. A solo shot, deep left field. Cutter just hung up enough inside with 1 out early registered in the inning. This one just hung up inside, and Riley just turned on it and belted it. Absolutely destroyed this baseball to left field. It's a 1-1 ball game. He's able to get out of the inning after that unscathed. And then in the 6th inning, Phillies go down 1-2-3. 7th inning, Hoffman's now in. Suarez out, Hoffman in. Starts off with a leadoff walk to Arcia. Rosario goes up there with a double to right field. Now you have second and third with no outs. Harris grounds out to first. Cody Clemens on a absolute bullet. Just picked up, snapped by Cody Clemens at first base. Then Acuna goes up there with the RBI single. It's now a 2-1 Braves lead. You have first and third with 1 out. Albies, goes up there. He gets the RBI ground out to second. It's now a 3-1 ball game. Riley flies out to center to end the threat. AJ Minter enters the ball game for Spencer Strider in the bottom of the 7th inning. Minter gets Clemens to ground out to second. Then Marsh strikes out. I was waiting for the replay. I didn't think Brandon Marsh offered at the pitch. Never saw the replay. They called him out on it. Schwarber then lays down a bunt attempt, grounding back to Minter. Minter gladly throws out Kyle Schwarber at first base. Again, the last time Kyle Schwarber faced AJ Minter, it was a game-tying RBI double. This time around, he settles for a bunt with 2 outs. Not cool. Going to the 8th inning, Hoffman still pitching. d'Arnaud strikes out, looking at the slider. Hoffman then goes out. Vasquez comes in. Olsen hits a 438-foot upper deck home run on a slider that did not slide nearly enough. He belts it out of the park. It's a 4-1 ball game. After that, Arcia gets a single. Rosario gets a single. Harris strikes out to end the threat. Ozuna also flew out to right field. Now going to the 9th inning, Phillies are out there with Dylan Covey. Acuna gets the infield single to third. Great barehand pickup by Alec Boehm. Just wasn't there in time to throw out Acuna at first. Albies flies out to right field. Riley then grounds out to short. Darno steps up there, and while he's up there, Dylan Covey's on the mound, not paying attention, and Acuna steals third base. Now, did it end up hurting the Phillies? No, it didn't end up hurting the Phillies. But maybe be a little bit heads up next time. Just maybe be a little heads up next time, especially when you have a guy like Acuna on the base paths that can really run. But anyway, Darno ends up grounding out to short to end the inning. Ninth inning, Bryson Stott. By the way, the eighth inning was that whole Real Muto play that I don't really want to relive as I opened the show with it, but damn, what the hell was he thinking? So you could have had an opportunity here if you just go chronologically. You would have had Real Muto on first, you would have had Castellanos at third, and you would have had Bryson Stott at the plate with 2 outs. Instead, you just have Bryson Stott leading off the bottom of the ninth inning. He does get a double. It just pops out of the mitt there, the left fielder, and it goes into the left field corner. He gets a double out of it. Alec Boehm goes up there, hits a fly ball to right field, deep enough to get stopped to third. So now you have a runner on third with 1 out. Cody Clemens comes up there, gets credit for the RBI, ground out to second. Marsh gets a single, so now you got another runner on. Kyle Schwarber, there's no other Philly you really want at the plate in this situation. And Kyle Schwarber comes up. Marsh steals second. Well, no, runner's indifference, or excuse me, defensive indifference. So you have a runner in scoring position. Kyle Schwarber strikes out to end the ball game. It's a 4-2 Phillies loss, and they take it on the chin against the Braves. They drop game 1 of this 3-game series, 4-2. Before we get to our chat check, let's check in with our own man himself for this portion of the show that we like to call Schmidt Show with Alex Schmidt, producer extraordinaire. Alex, do we have you? How's your internet?
I sure hope it's good enough. I mean, okay. I'm just in a hotel on the road in New York, Long Island. I hope things are going well enough to you can see, hear. Good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Good enough. The internet's good enough. What's the Schmidt Show comprised of tonight, my friend?
I mean, it's a story of the game. The runners in scoring position. It was hard to watch, to see the struggles that they were doing on the bases. And I mean, they were getting hits. They got 11 hits. So on that standpoint, it wasn't that big of a problem. But when the opportunities arose, everything would just fall apart. I mean, in the fourth, when Kruk and McCarthy said that, oh my God, it was the first time during the game that the first and second hitter got on base. And I was like, oh, you are right. That is shocking. Maybe something good will happen. Not a thing. Not a thing came from it. Of course. I mean, can't say I'm surprised. It's runners in scoring position the entire season. Yeah, we've been what it is, like pretty good hot streak lately in June, but I don't know. The second game in the A's series, it was I think we were runners in scoring position 2 for 13. And yeah, the other games that were low scoring, that is what it is. But I'm just hoping and praying to God that these problems that were so prevalent the entire season, early this season, and maybe going until now, aren't returning and rearing its ugly head again. Please.
The base running stuff I can't do. The base running stuff I can't do. If you remember the early, maybe the first month of the season, the Phillies were one of the best offenses in the entire MLB. And when it came to base running blunders, they led the league in base running blunders, like getting thrown out on the base path. So it was like they do the hard. I firmly believe the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. The Phillies did that rather easily. I think the easiest thing to do in sports is run the bases, and they can't do that to save their lives. And now it feels like it's rearing its ugly head again.
You would think that the easiest thing to do in baseball is running the bases. I mean, you would hope.
Not the Phillies.
No. I wasn't the greatest baseball player as a kid. I mean, I did what I could. My dad tried to teach me, but I was a football player. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I mean, the whole running the bases thing. I mean, big thing with JT tonight. I just, again, please, we can't get back to that.
Do you think he was safe?
Please. I mean, being a fan, yes. And seeing it through the replay, yeah, maybe his finger was like right there, and he did like a half second it came off, but I was like, oh, maybe they didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was probably off.
Here's the thing.
Off.
I think he was safe, but the way they call it, they made the right call. It was ruled. He was ruled out. Quite frankly, he should have been out by a mile, but he did have a phenomenal slide. I give him credit for that, but he shouldn't have gone anyway. But the way the whole thing played out, I think they called it letter of the law right down the middle. But bottom line is, I think he was safe. But bottom line, he shouldn't have gone to begin with. Damn it!
Exactly. The bottom line. Just stay on first. Like, come on.
There you go.
The situation, there's no need to stretch that. Someone's going to be on third. Just take the single. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Alex, Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Before I go, I got a little hypothetical question, kind of comment for you.
Go ahead. What do you got?
You mentioned something about the Cody Clemens situation, Derek Hall. Personally, I've been thinking about lately. We don't know what's going to happen with Reese Hoskins next year and trade, or he'll just be released, something along those lines. Everyone loves the guy, but I don't know if he's worth signing some new big deal. Cody Clemens, Derek Hall are solid enough. They can get them low money, very cheap, maybe another 1 or 2 year deal. But in my mind, I would say that Cody Clemens is going to be the everyday, or if there's a position battle for first base between Derek Hall and Cody Clemens, I think Cody Clemens will end up winning that. I don't know what you think, but that's just my low take.
No, I agree with you. And as of right now, he has won that battle. Like I was saying earlier, you're talking about like the interim tag being removed from a coach or a manager. I think the interim tag of him being your first baseman has been removed, with Derek Hall being healthy now and then still being optioned to AAA. Now, it could mean nothing. It could just mean that the Phillies want him to get more reps, and when he's ready, he'll come back to the major league level. But look, the Phillies have Kyle Schwarber. They have Trey Turner. They have JT Realmuto. They have Bryce Harper. They have guys, Nick Castellanos. They have guys that can hit home runs. Derek Hall can certainly hit home runs, but they don't have a lot of guys that can play solid defense, and Cody Clemens can certainly play solid defense.
Yeah. And that's also the thing you said about Bryce Harper. This whole Bryce Harper to first base thing, it'd be cool if that happened, but I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it either. The only reason I want to do it is because Schwarber would be your DH.
That's exactly. I don't want him to be wasted at first base when we could easily just be like, hey, Castellanos, you go over left. Harper, when you're ready, you get back into right. Oh. And then we don't have to worry about Schwarber's whole fielding blunders that, well, don't get worked up about that.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. I finally have this piece of information here. Corey Simon, NBC Sports Philly, putting this out here. I was wondering why you saw Vasquez. I was wondering why you saw Dylan Covey. What the hell? Okay, among others, Jose Alvarado, Matt Strum, and Marte, all unavailable tonight, which helps explain Hoffman. That's the name I was looking for. Hoffman going into the 7th inning of a 1-1 game.
Great.
They had off yesterday. I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell. All right, Alex, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's get to our chat check and see how you guys are doing. Marinelli, what's going on there? John Marinelli, how you doing? Phillies got 8 hits off Strider. They just didn't get them when it mattered. Also, DFA Hoffman and give Turner a day off. I'm with you. Ari Stein, what's up, Ari? Happy Tuesday. Sorry for the rough night, my Philly brothers and sisters. Oh, it was not good. Mark, I owe you a response on the Freeze story. Ooh, haven't had time to type up my thoughts. It's an interesting story, and I can really see both sides. In case you missed it, David Freeze got voted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame and said, no thanks, I'm not good enough to be in that Hall of Fame. By the way, he got the fan vote to get in. You know who he beat out in the fan vote? Perhaps you heard of him, a little left-handed pitcher by the name of Steve Carlton, who won a World Series with the Cardinals before he was traded to the Phillies. His first 20-win season was with the Cardinals. 20-9? Boop, I believe it was. John Marinelli, I looked it up. The Phillies are 30th, dead last in turning double plays. That is insane. That is insane. Crazy. What's up, Crazy? I honestly don't know what to say. This loss has me just sitting here staring at the wall. It feels like a bad playoff loss. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like an awful, ugly, hideous playoff loss. Another gem by Ranger down the drain, Ashley Allen. Ashley, I don't know what's up with this team, but they love squandering starts by Suarez. It's like their favorite thing. Zach Hine, what's up, Zach? Thompson put money on the Braves tonight. Terrible bullpen management tonight. Terrible with runners in scoring position. And JT, why? Why are you going for 2? I don't know. Zach Hine, also Ranger is just awesome. He is awesome. Christopher, what's up, Christopher? How you doing, man? John Marinelli, Harper still stuck on 3 home runs. He is in a long... Dom Patton! What's up, man? Topper said he didn't play Alvarado Marte because of workload. All right. Anyway, Dom, good to see you. Crazy, great to see you. How long has it been now since Bryce Harper's last home run? It has been a minute. Let me just look this up real quick because I remember we had this stat a handful of games ago. I want to say it was, but it is obviously it's been the longest since he's been back. He went through, I think, a 22-game, 25-game homerless streak last year. I think it was. I don't know if he needs I don't think it's another day off that he needs, but I wonder if he's 100%. Anytime you come back from a time, like not anytime because nobody does it like this, but when you come back from an injury at all, whether it's 5 months or 8 months or a year, I do worry. If you come back from it, here's the way to say it. If you come back from an injury at a record pace, if you make it back sooner than anyone has ever made it back before, I'm going to have a little hesitancy about how you're managing that early return from the injury. I'm going to have a little bit of hesitancy. Just being real with you guys. Just being real with you. That's where I'm at. Bryce Harper. He has now reached 21 games. He has now reached 21 games without a home run. Now, let's compare that to last year. 21 games now without a home run. Last year, his longest drought without a home run was 25 games. 25 games. So that's where we're at. That's the JAKIB Media Phillies postgame show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marc Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Crazy saying May 25th against the Braves was his last home run. So it's 21 games ago. Could have used another one tonight. Don't forget, this show is brought to you by the wonderful people at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let Colony Pools power wash your house. Ladies and gentlemen, bring your home back to life for the summer of 2023. Give our sponsor a call for this baseball season at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250. If you're tired of seeing that green algae or that ugly stain on your roof, then you live in Delco, Chester, in the state of Delaware, let Colony pressure wash your house and take the pressure off you. Alex Schmidt produced the program, did a wonderful job. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel for the Farzy Show, as well as the Farzy Show YouTube channel as well. Have a great rest of your night. We'll lick our wounds about these Phillies and bounce back with you guys tomorrow. See ya.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Google TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
And the big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust, and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
This is Governor Ed Rendell urging you to vote for my friend Judge Pat Dugan for Superior Court. I appointed Judge Dugan in 2007 to the Philadelphia Municipal Court, where he now serves as its president judge. Pat is a proud Army veteran of 23 years. He served 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's also recommended by the Philadelphia Bar Association. But most importantly, he bleeds Eagles green and hates those Dallas Cowboys. So get out and vote for number 3, Judge Pat Dugan for Superior Court.
Paid for by Dugan 2023.
EAGLES, Eagles.